too. He's silent though.
Yeah.
This one for my exes, came from different bases, traveling them places, yeah, conquering the nations. Ain't no rocket science, but chemistry what made us. Keep on dropping hits till they know we the greatest, yeah. Everything is alright. In the studio, we be all night. Everything is alright. In the studio, we be all night.
We been flying, look out, beat though. People trying, too much ego. I can take them out solo like Greedo. We been flying, look out, beat though. People trying, too much ego. I can take them out solo like Greedo.
Close, never been an iota. On another level, top flow, below us. Ultralight beam me up, deep glower. Better retreat from these space force. Close, never been an iota. On another level, top flow, below us. Ultralight beam me up, deep glower. Better retreat from these space force.
This one for my exes, came from different bases, traveling them places, yeah, conquering the nations. Ain't no rocket science, but chemistry what made us. Keep on dropping hits till they know we the greatest, yeah. Everything is alright. In the studio, we be all night. Everything is alright. In the studio, we be all night.
We been flying, look out, beat though. People trying, too much ego. I can take them out solo like Greedo. We been flying, look out, beat though. People trying, too much ego. I can take them out solo like Greedo.
Never been an iota. On another level, top flow, below us. Ultralight beam me up, deep slower. Better retreat from these space force. Close, never been an iota. On another level, top flow, below us. Ultralight beam me up, deep glower. Better retreat from these space force. Space force. Space force.
Got no competition, so we lap around the globe. We can do this backwards, killer Vic, let him know. Let him know.
Said don't attack me cause I ain't no Democrat. Said don't attack me cause I ain't Republican. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black. Said don't attack me cause of all my politics. You ain't gotta deal with all this shit that I deal with. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black.
Yeah. I find it condescending when you tell me how they think it, they reduce it to my melanin. Like I didn't pay the cost, so my brother took a loss for your chance of the donkey or the elephant, but neither one is relevant. This is for the blacks or the whites that are coming off arrogant. Calling me a traitor for not following, I heard it's absurd, and I heard that it's even more prevalent when you don't understand what I've been through. And blood don't tell me who I'm kin to. That's determined in by the friends who share the same values as me. Don't pretend to act like you know everything that I need. Conservative in the way I believe, regardless of whatever you may perceive. I'm black and nobody can take that from me.
Don't attack me cause I ain't no Democrat. Said don't attack me cause I ain't Republican. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black. Said don't attack me cause of all my politics. You ain't gotta deal with all this shit that I deal with. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black.
Take that from me. Yeah.
This is my right I'm different.
Don't attack me cause I ain't no Democrat. Said don't attack me cause I ain't Republican. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black. Said don't attack me cause of all my politics. You ain't gotta deal with all the shit that I deal with. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black. I'm still black.
Yeah. It's gonna be legendary right here, man.
Let's get it.
Word. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. I'm just here to bring the facts. I'm not worried about your feelings. It's the way that y'all react. It goes way beyond the killings. Y'all can focus on the bad while I keep being the realest. Got me looking at the stats, trying to find out what the deal is. Take a look at DOJ, murder rate and what they say. 52% on homicides, like we ain't taking vacay. That is sad. I don't get it. Then you blame it on your payment. No, it's not. You just ignorant. You the problem. Just admit it. Tired of us going through this cycle. Blaming others means you in denial. Situations getting dire, this is vital. So it's time for us to crack open the Bible and get back to the truth.
Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it. Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it.
Some of you ain't got a clue.
Heaven knows that I'm fighting. Heaven knows that I'm fighting.
Get them back to the truth.
A black liberal ain't nothing but a house Negro. I said it. I just said it. Drop the bomb. Boom. A black liberal ain't nothing but a house Negro.
See that nonsense stretching, venom in the comment sections. I feel them calling it progression. All you wanna do, follow deception, no direction. See the scope, it's titty and dope. Every argument will go past yours and why they're feeding us like goats. See now, only gonna find the way truth into thy. Knowing about it, but taking two from the fight. Maybe you don't make it out doing right. They'll kill you and they will it suicide. Whistleblower, just some you're just a voter. Never wanted you to be a pistol holder. Every candidate been a joker. Oh no, sir.
Tired of us going through this cycle. Blaming others means you in denial. Situations getting dire, this is vital. So it's time for us to crack open the Bible and get back to the truth.
Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it. Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it.
Some of you ain't got a clue.
Heaven knows that I'm fighting. Heaven knows that I'm fighting.
Get them back to the truth.
Y'all so pressed for master to swear up and down that Black Lives Matter and that they need y'all need master and master need y'all. I don't need nothing from nobody. I got Jesus, baby.
Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. I am one of the two kings of the Rube Empire. I'm the Philosopher King, the Ivory Tower, the Mad Scientist Matt, and I've got a perspective on things.
And what
with
a
me,
perspective it is.
I think so.
That's right.
With me is the Kick-Ass Duke, the producer, the right hand of the kings.
On most days.
The sexiest voice in podcasting today,
Yeah.
because he's because he's sick. He's got a head cold. It's Dusty.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, brother?
Doing well. It's good to see you, Matt. How was your weekend?
It's good to see you. It's good. Actually, well, I worked a bunch of overtime on Saturday, so I really had a very short weekend.
Okay.
But tonight, I had a lovely dinner with my family and my Aunt Susan and my cousin, Catherine. And they were very kind to treat us to dinner at Red Robin. It was delicious. And it was great to see her. I hadn't seen her in a few years. And I informed her about my podcast, and she subscribed and is going to listen to it. And I'd like to start off by saying, Aunt Susan, I'm sorry.
Aunt Susan, I'm
no,
sorry.
actually, I hope that you find, we're rude dudes,
Yeah.
we're a little, sometimes, we try to be good Christian boys, but we get angry, and and frankly, I don't know what her politics are. I know that she's a Christian, and so I just hope that I hope and pray that she doesn't find us offensive. She finds us thought-provoking, and that we, that there's plenty of common ground for all of us.
No, that's...
I don't think she'd love me any less if there wasn't, but
Well, we always hope that whoever watches the show gets some sort of thoughtful content out of it at some point throughout the show. Every single episode.
Yeah, I mean,
we really do work
for
towards
sure
that goal. Whether you're on the left or on the right really doesn't matter. It matters that you think about things. It matters that we provoke thought, not just anger.
Agreed. Also, we of course want you to know that politics isn't necessarily the solution to all of life's problems.
Is it ever?
Yeah. That ultimately, right or left, Jesus is the solution to all of life's problems.
And that we can heartily agree.
Yes. And then lastly, we take strong stances because we have given it lots of thought, and this is what we believe to be the truth. And so
I don't like to think I believe in Jesus Christ. My political ideology is an idea. I can change my ideas very easily. If all of a sudden I come across a political idea that I think is valid, I have no problem changing my political ideology. However,
agreed.
My Christian faith is on solid ground. It's built on the rock.
Yes.
And unwavering.
For sure. I agree with that. But, that being said, our political ideas are not something we came to willy-nilly either.
Most of them came out of the Bible that I pull and hold most dear.
Yeah, exactly. So, this isn't us. We like I said, we take strong stances because we believe what we say.
Yep. And what we say, we believe to be true.
Exactly. And so, so there you go. Love you, Aunt Susan. And, have a safe rest of your trip. Anyway, on to the show. Do you have a State of the Kingdom ready?
State of the Kingdom. I've got a couple of them ready. We've got Fauci being called out on his emails from last January.
Oh.
Yes.
Ooh, by whom?
Well, believe it or not, Congress. So that's going to go so far.
Yeah. Is it just Rand Paul again?
Not just Rand
Paul doing great, but when it's just Rand Paul, that's not gonna,
No, it's not.
The system is designed so that one person can't, really
exactly
affect a whole lot.
No, it's not just one. It's actually 12. 12 representatives are all going, hey, what's going on with these emails? They haven't released them yet, but they're pretty damning. So there's that. Of course, we have to talk about the late, great Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tragedy.
Indeed.
So far, he died in our backyard, actually, here in Orlando.
Mm-hmm. The Ritz-Carlton, Orlando.
Yep. Nice hotel, by the way.
He did a show. He did a show in Orlando. Then he went to Elisa Miller. Welcome to the Rube Empire. Thanks for watching. And I hope you enjoy your citizenship in the freest nation in all the world. But yeah, back to Bob Saget. So he did a show in Orlando. Yep. Then he went to Jacksonville, did a show there, came back that same night to the Ritz-Carlton, and then died that night.
Didn't wake up.
Well, they found him with his hand on his chest, apparently. So he might have woken up with massive chest pains or something like that.
Who knows? We'll have to wait for the autopsy.
Also, yeah, exactly. Also, I don't know if I should say it's very rumor. Okay, I'll just tell you the rumor is the rumor that I heard, and it's purely a rumor at this point.
Take it with a huge grain of salt.
Yeah, massive, many grains.
Yep.
Rumor is he was a couple of weeks out from getting his most recent booster.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a rumor, but this is something that we've seen before. Yeah, DMX. I'm sorry.
So
cases within mysterious deaths within weeks. There's plenty of VAERS reporting on that. Plenty.
So there's that.
Just watch watch Peter McCullough and Dr. Robert Malone on Joe Rogan. Seriously, watch those podcast episodes. It's overflowing with information. I think they're very important voices in the world that we are living in today.
So,
and of course, take what they, you can do research on what they have to say too. I'm not saying that this is gospel. I'm saying
check it out.
If you're getting only one side of the story, go get the other side.
Yeah. This is why I don't just watch Fox News, which I really don't like, honestly. I don't like Fox News. It just feels too propaganda. Mm-hmm. Then I watch CNN, and it feels too
Republican Party propaganda.
Yes. I'm not a Republican. I don't like the Republican Party, but I tend to vote Republican because I tend to agree more with Republicans than I do with Democrats. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I also watch MSNBC and listen to NPR, as well as listen to talk radio and Ben Shapiro and a bunch of other shows. So I'm getting my news from lots of different places, not just one source. And that's a key thing, because if multiple sources are all agreeing on the same facts, you can pretty much be rest assured those are the facts. Everything else is opinion. So it's a lot of stuff to sift through, but hey, it's what it takes to find what's close to the truth today.
unfortunately. Yeah. Well, it's just like hackers. Like, I work in IT, and so it's like, what a pain in the butt just to, like, create, to protect your login to, systems at your work. There's your password, and it has to be this many characters, and it has to this many symbols, and then you got to do the two-step verification. So you got to have your phone involved in this or whatever, and just layers upon layers that make it more and more difficult to secure. It's all because there's bad actors out there called hackers who want to steal money and information and infect systems and all this crap.
And they're willing to do anything to do it.
Yep. And so in the world of news, there's a bunch of mind hackers out there who want to lie and steal and want to lie to you and steal your attention and infect your mind with garbage, and so you have to spend all this extra time making sure that what you've got is the truth, because they ain't doing it for you.
So, yeah. So, more news of the empire. We got New York and LA both tightening their grips on COVID, stating that if you even want to go outside your home, you better have your vaccine passport. You're going to start being fined if you don't have it on you. Let me see your papers. Let me see your papers. Sound familiar?
Yeah, this is... Well, I wasn't alive then, but I've seen plenty of movies about that time period.
Let me see your papers.
Papers? No, it's not good. Nothing about that is good. No. Nothing.
Where's the liberty?
Even if you think it's for public safety, there's none. They don't care.
So.
And they think that we're fools for caring about it. And we're not, man. We're not.
I hope not.
Every step that we take away from liberty is there's only one way to go. There's steps toward liberty or steps towards tyranny. There's no third option. It really is, like I don't like binary choices. Generally.
Binary choices typically.
But there are some. Yeah, typically there's something being withheld. Yeah. The third option is being withheld from
usually context is what's being withheld.
Yeah. But in this world there are inescapable binaries. There are. There just is.
That's debatable.
Male and female. Male and female. That's an inescapable binary. Debatable.
Come on. There's Z's, M's, Zoos, Z, blah, blah, blah.
No, there is not.
You and me.
That's fairyland. That's fairyland. Ones and zeros, on and off.
That's binary.
There's no in between then. Yeah. And then another one is what we were talking about when I started this train of thought, and I can't remember what it was.
Where I was heading with this was OSHA is starting to require companies with more than 100 employees for all of them to be vaccinated or weekly tests for those that are not. And
my company is doing that, and I've begun my search for a new job.
Well,
6 days after my 10-year anniversary.
On that note, it is being the OSHA is being sued in that regard, and the Supreme Court it's
appearing in front of the Supreme Court,
and the Supreme Court is currently hearing arguments for this case right now. This morning, actually, they were talking about it. mostly in the fact of OSHA has never once in its history mandated any sort of medical anything. Not flu, not anything. They can't. It's not part of its purview. So, why all of a sudden with Rona, which has been wildly inconsistent, is it an OSHA matter? So, that's the argument that they've brought forth. There's no clear history of OSHA being able to enforce any sort of mandates or controls in that regard because it's not a work safety issue.
Yeah.
It's a health issue.
It is a health issue. It's there's so much more than that. It's, you know, it's a privacy issue.
Yes.
It's a
religious.
It's a it's a body autonomy issue. You know, as much as, you know, we're generally against that. I mean, we're not against that idea of body autonomy.
No.
It's just, you know, like, but we get into the weeds with that with abortion because they want to claim body autonomy while completely disregarding the body within their body.
Correct.
You know,
it is a separate individual inside their body. Thus, the baby, no matter how small or how big, has body autonomy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And it's not their body.
Yes, exactly.
And I don't care.
And that body has a right to life. And I think we as free peoples have a right to put whatever we want in our body or not put whatever we want in our body.
Exactly. 100% right. My question to you is, okay, I grew up in northern Indiana. Predominantly Amish. Not a one of them vaccinate. It's against their religion. Now, they don't suffer too much because it's them and them working for them. They're their own little
generally,
thing. Is OSHA going to mandate that to the Amish?
Well, are they a business with more than 100 employees? Probably not.
I don't know that they actually incorporate anything. But OSHA still claims that they have to adhere to certain protocols for running farms, things like that. There's certain OSHA protocols that fall under that. I'd like to see them try to enforce that on the Amish community. That would be an interesting show.
I see visions of Waco in my head. Unfortunately. Sadly.
Well, considering that the Amish don't typically use guns, I don't see that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the ATF. It would be, I don't know.
OSHA.
The FBI.
You owe us $1 million in fines.
Yeah, it's OSHA and local law enforcement or something like that.
Shut off our power. See if we care.
Shut off our candles.
Yeah. Turn off the internet. We don't care.
Yeah.
Take away our cell phones. Yay. No more telemarketers.
Yeah.
But it's groups like that I go, okay, they have every right to live the way they want to live. And I love the Amish.
They do.
I worked with the Amish quite often on their farms. When I was a kid, I needed a job. Guess who hired me? Our Amish neighbors. I picked corn. Shucked it like crazy. Very good at shucking because of it. But yeah, great people. Loved working with them. Little odd on the electricity thing. Still, very nice. I had very nice experiences with them. So I would hate for this to go awry and people start showing up with injectors like on X-Men. You know, the gun injectors? Where they just start
I know what you're
shooting
talking
people with vaccines.
Oh, you remember that guy from the FDA, the accountant from the FDA, who his whole idea was, he just couldn't stop talking about how we need people with blow darts. Getting tagging the unvaccinated. I mean,
they're unvaccinated.
Obsession. Yeah, exactly. Obsession. Anyway, again, the other thing that we're not talking about is that OSHA is an unconstitutional agency, like every executive branch agency. It's not a power. Occupational safety and health is not a power granted the federal government by the Constitution, thus it should not exist. That is a power that belongs to the states or the people, per the 10th Amendment. There's no two ways about it.
Granted, the IRS is in the same boat as the OSHA.
Yes. Except that the income tax is an amendment, right? I don't know. It's like the 16th or something like that. No, the 16th is something else, right?
I don't think so.
I think the income tax was an amendment to the Constitution. I might be wrong. But either way, even if it is, does it?
Okay, according to
does it grant
Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution gives Congress the power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense of the United States.
Okay, so the IRS is...
The IRS is not, but they can collect taxes. It just doesn't say how.
Exactly. So the IRS is a function of... IRS is the how for the power that the government, that the federal government has. So there's not every executive branch agency is unconstitutional, but there are many that are.
And the 16th Amendment does have to do with collecting income tax, specifically income tax. And was upheld by the Supreme Court in Bush Harbor versus Union Pacific Railroad.
And you know what? If I remember correctly, it was supposed to be temporary.
Yes.
Yet another government tax that was supposed to be temporary. Surprise, surprise.
Well, Social Security was supposed to be meant specifically for the retirement of Americans, and yet they keep reappropriating the Social Security tax into other things to where Social Security has no money. We have to keep borrowing to pay back our Social Security that should already be there.
Yeah.
There's a big problem with that.
There's a big problem with a lot of things regarding money, the dollar, taxes, all of this stuff. Not to mention the fundamental that taxation is theft. and there's no it's textbook definition theft.
Yes. They are taking it at the point of a gun. If you do not
Yep.
give,
and
you will be taken to jail.
Yeah. It's an extortion racket,
Yeah.
For your protection. It's a protection racket, really.
That was the wording.
You
For the common welfare, or for the general welfare of the United States.
Mm-hmm. And this is or the common defense. I think you read it.
It's common defense and general welfare of the United States.
Okay. So and I mean, that was our founding fathers. So that's a point where I disagree with our founding fathers that wrote that. What?
That's when that article was written and ratified. It was 1916.
But you said it was Article 1, Section 8.
Section 8. Yep. They can change the Constitution. The Constitution can be changed.
Yeah, I know that. So so there were no taxes up until 1916?
I think there were taxes. I don't think it was an income tax.
Oh, yeah. I'm not talking about the income tax. I'm talking about the original thing that you read before Amendment 16.
As far as I know, it's Article 1, but it's Section 8, so it may have been tacked on to Article 1.
Maybe, but I'm thinking that was original.
But yeah, the Supreme Court upheld the 16th Amendment in 1916.
Yeah. All right. So either way, let's move on to the topic of the title of our episode.
Let's do it.
So has USA Today lost their minds?
The quick answer, yes.
Yeah, and we know this, but this is...
Are they mainstream media?
Okay.
Then yes, they have.
Yeah. All right, so this is an article titled USA Today, Pedophilia is merely, quote, inappropriate. Among the most misunderstood conditions in America. This is an article from USA Today that we're talking about. One of the nation's most widely circulated newspapers, USA Today, ran an article on Monday that presented pedophilia as, quote, among the most misunderstood conditions in American society, diminishing pedophilia as inappropriate, while it promoted destigmatizing the attraction.
Yeah, no, it's not a stigma. It is a legal prosecutable thing. Because if they act on it, they are breaking the law in several ways. So,
yeah. So,
yeah.
Yes. But let's continue. They're trying to
justify
They're trying to separate
obscene
the action from the attraction. Okay? Pedophilia is viewed as among the most horrifying social ills. Because it is. But scientists who study the sexual disorder say it is also among the most misunderstood. Opens the article by Alia E. Dastagir. Researchers who study pedophilia say the term describes an attraction, not an action, and using it interchangeably with abuse fuels misperceptions about pedophiles. One of the experts compares pedophilia to any unguarded sexual impulse upon which society would frown. Anna Salter, a psychologist, says she begins her sessions by asking, how many of you have ever had an inappropriate sexual thought? The article then favorably quotes Alan Walker, formerly of Old Dominion University, who promoted destigmatizing pedophilia and calling pedophiles minor attracted persons. Walker, a transgender individual, said the stigma against sexual attraction to minors can actually lead to harm against children. And how? Never a how there. Do you ever get a how? An explanation of that? No, it just can actually lead to harm against children. There, I said it, so it's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
The newspaper yeah. It's garbage. The newspaper opened a lengthy thread on Twitter by stating, "We think we know what a pedophile is. There's a lot we're misunderstanding." When most of the public quote, "When most of the public thinks of pedophilia, they assume it's synonymous with child sexual abuse. A pedophile is an adult who's sexually attracted to children, but not all pedophiles abuse kids, and some people who sexually abuse kids are not pedophiles." The paper told its readers via social media. How's that possible? Roughly 20% of all girls and 5% of all boys experience childhood sexual abuse, according to the National Center for the Victims of Crime. That's 1 out of 5 girls and 1 out of 20 boys.
Ugh.
That's sickening.
I'm gonna have to shower after this.
And we want to destigmatize, this crap.
So, okay. What is?
There's more.
Okay. Why?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So they took down the thread, and then they deleted the entire thread. But people have kept it.
Why am I not surprised?
Donald Trump Jr. Said the internet is forever. Good try on the delete though. The article appeared in USA Today's Health and Wellness, and readers were upset about it.
Yeah.
Here's a good part. Social scientists say the effort to erode the social taboo around pedophilia has been underway for years. We've talked about it before, and it's not stopping. It's not going to stop. They're going to keep pushing it because this is just one more way that they can destabilize Western society. I quote, "I do not misunderstand pedophilia at all." Jennifer Roback Morris, a former Yale economics professor who founded the Pro-Family Ruth Institute, told me, "The architects of the sexual revolution declared, without proof, that all sexual restraints were outmoded taboos that we were well rid of. But the sexual taboos protect the interests of children. In order to eliminate traditional sexual mores, the sexual revolutionaries had to redefine childhood. Instead of children being dependent on their parents, parents became the oppressors of children's sexual liberation. Instead of being innocent, children became sexual beings," added Morse. "In this way, pedophilia has been baked into the sexual revolution from the beginning." The world's most... Okay, so then they talk about Jeffrey Epstein.
Glad he's dead.
Epstein said that criminalizing sex with teenage girls was a cultural aberration and that at times in history it was perfectly acceptable. He pointed out that homosexuality had long been considered a crime and was still punishable by death in some parts of the world, according to New York Times reporter James B. Stewart. So he's equating homosexuality as a taboo with pedophilia as a taboo, and trying to blur those lines.
Here's the thing. Okay, slavery at one point was acceptable, right? Slavery was okay.
Didn't make it right.
Doesn't make it right, but it was okay. It was accepted.
And honestly, from our perspective, homosexuality being okay today does not make it okay.
It's still...
That's blunt, but it's still a sin.
Pedophilia.
In God's eyes. That hasn't changed.
Okay. People get arrested today for having child pornography on their computers, whatnot.
As they should.
They should. Why are they arrested for that?
Because
it's the exploitation of children, minors who cannot give consent
They're contributing to that by even, looking at the material.
Children cannot give consent because they do not understand what they're consenting to. They don't have the intellect yet. Excuse me.
Your excuse.
Just wow.
Yeah. This is
They want
what they want. And she's right, and that one professor, the Roback Morse, is absolutely correct that this was baked into the beginning of the sexual revolution.
I'm sure it was, but at the same time, it's still wrong. Children.
No, that's what I'm saying. Well, no, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong because of that. I'm saying that this was where we were going from the start of the sexual revolution.
To liberalize.
We were headed down this path from the very beginning. Yeah.
Liberalize women and now liberalize pedophilia. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. I mean, really, the sexual revolution is less about women's rights. That's the feminist movement. The sexual revolution is about free love, man. You can love whoever you want, as many people as you want,
as long as
in
it's
whatever
consensual.
way you want, buddy.
As long as it's consensual. And it cannot be consensual with a minor who doesn't understand what they're consenting to. And it causes severe psychological trauma.
Yeah, but consensuality has never been really a part of that conversation. It's only a part of the conversation when they want the power to call rape in whatever way they want. And rape is serious too. Rape is disgusting.
Highly, it's right up there with pedophilia.
So you and I are on the bandwagon of consent of consensual sexual
I'm very
activity.
libertarian in this regard. You do whatever you want to do as long as it's between two consensual adults. I don't care.
In private.
I don't care. The moment it starts affecting other people that are not consenting to that, I have very strong issues. Especially when it has to do with children.
Of course.
And
that's the way it should be.
Acceptable about that.
And I don't. Where do they get off saying that some people who abuse children sexually are not pedophiles? What are they then?
They're pedophiles.
Is it possible that there are people who have this okay, so let's talk about this. Is pedophilia a mental disorder? Or is it just the expression of evil?
Ooh. So, okay. I kind of see where you're going with this. What you're thinking is that because children are the most innocent among us, right?
Mm-hmm.
That innocence is what draws them. Being
the destruction of it.
The destruction of innocence would be pure evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely agree with that. Pure evil is the destruction of innocence.
Yes.
So.
But I mean, is it possible that this is? I mean, I'd say it's possible that just like a sociopath, They're doing incredibly, a sociopath who goes on to be a serial killer, is doing very evil things,
Yes.
Does every sociopath become a serial killer? Does every pedophile go on to abuse children? I don't know. I don't care, I think is my stance. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
We need to take a hard stance, draw a very bold line, and keep that taboo in its right smack dab where it belongs.
I want to
Pedophilia,
ask.
just the
I want to send
attraction
this
is
out.
wrong.
I want to send this question out to all of our parent viewers. Anyone that is a parent, would you be okay with your children hanging out with a pedophile, a known pedophile? Would you be okay with it?
Absolutely not.
I would have strong reservations about it. If I knew my kids were around that, there would be. I would have a hard time with it. I don't think I could tolerate it because
I think you'd be an absolute
temptation,
fool.
the temptation for that person to do something abhorrent is way beyond. It's way too high. The risk is way too high. And I love my kids way too much for them to suffer that kind of. I don't think there's a word in the English language strong enough to describe that kind of pain, that loss.
Agreed.
I have seen people suffering from child abuse and sexual abuse from their childhood, and it breaks my heart because these are good people who are hurt by people who thought they were loving. They're loving them. That's not love. That's just pure abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And it sticks with that person their entire life.
Yeah, it severely messes up. Sexualizing children before they are sexual creatures, before sexuality becomes a part of their lives, i.e., via puberty, generally, just it wrecks. It just the damage is beyond
irreparable.
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, it will affect them forever. Yeah. Just I mean, and this is it's the same. It's linked in the same way as when we talk about puberty blockers and stuff like that in the transgender movement. Why do they keep coming after our kids? Because they're freaking evil and they want to destroy innocence.
Yep.
It pleases them to do so. That's just evil. And you may be a person who's dealing with the attraction, to that, the sociopathy and whatnot that associated with that attraction, and there's only one thing to do, and that's to seek help. If you aren't seeking help, then you're and not from somebody who's going to enable you and say that it's okay. But somebody who really wants to get that out of you, if that's even possible. I don't know. I'm not a professional. I've not worked in that field and helped people move on from that. I mean, to me, it seems more demonic than mental illness.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Probably. I mean, yeah. The spiritual world can affect the physical world,
Yes, it can. And does.
Yes. Your mind can be, I mean, Demons are real, and they they seek to distort us in those extremely evil ways. But there's no destigmatizing that's going to save any child.
Yeah.
Destigmatizing is only going to enable victimizers. And if and I can envision someone who's having these feelings, hating themselves, and wanting to be free of it.
Yep.
And your feelings of hate for yourself, having those feelings, is appropriate.
Yep.
Seek help. Because, there's no two ways around it. What you're feeling is evil. And if you don't want to be an evil person, then you got to do something about that. That's it. That's all there is to it.
There's no justification.
No.
There's none. There's no justification for that kind of action.
And it's not even the action. There's no justification for the attraction. I mean, am I wrong about that?
Agreed. No, I agree. It's usually something wrong if you're being attracted to that kind of...
Yeah. If the destruction of innocence is an attractive thing to you,
well said.
You are in a very, very, very bad place.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Immediately.
Please. So, on that note, let's bring this home.
Yes. The only one who can actually, the only one who's ever made a way out of the depths of evil and sin is Christ Jesus our Lord.
Amen.
So, there is a way out, and that way out is through Jesus.
Agreed.
Psychologists may be able to help you, but they're treating symptoms and not the disease. The disease is the sin that's in all of our hearts. And that, the medicine for that is faith and trust in Jesus Christ. Believe in his death, burial, and resurrection as the payment for all sin, and that it broke the chains of the bondage of sin. And then repent of your sin. Turn away from it and live for Christ. That's the only way. And then you got to treat yourself like an addict and never go near the stuff. That's all there is. On that note, you've been watching Plausible Foolishness, the home of the Rube Empire, where the people are free, the taxes are voluntary, and we serve freshly roasted liberal logic every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:30 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness, YouTube, Facebook Live, anywhere you can get a podcast, Instagram, and minds.com, and don't forget Rumble. Peace out. God bless. See you tomorrow.
Yo, it's crazy that when I sit back and look, that even within the black community, we have a whole war going on amongst conservatives and others, simply about how we want to move the black community forward.
I saw that on the gram, Snoop made a post, bashing on some black educated folks. Calling them a coon, no it wasn't jokes. Man, you tripping like your foot caught between the spokes. You couldn't hold a light next to hurricane. So the main with better class and better brains. Out rebuilding our communities and other things. Like making up for all the damage from the dopest slang. Candace O, she's a queen in her own right. Not the type to monetize off her own plight. Working hard for black America day and night. Understand that you're not the only dog in this fight. Terrence K refused to be a product of the system. Bounce around the foster care, no he ain't a victim. You got probation and luckily dies going to prison. Then you believe you had the right to pose criticism? David Harris, I can tell the pain's authentic. He truly cares for the people, meaning all pigment. Your music is a reason why this generation's violent. Another reason why I couldn't stay silent. Miss Staten, she's a G, she did real time. All you do is talk about it, a real crime. But even that can't hold her back while she steady climb the long ladder to success in these troubled times. Tell me what's wrong with Pastor Darrell Scott? You hating on the man, simply how I walk with God. When he supported you when you was Snoop lying. Even when the majority figures Snoop lying. Look, I ain't falling for the tongue in cheek. Your virtual threats, man, they're kinda weak. Cause I bet you ain't stepping to the Hodge twins. Just to fight with Shaw loses and Hobbs wins. You hate on Diamond and Silk, Paris Bernard. They support the president and that is regardless of all the hate that they receive. Being loyal is a trait that a dog can't conceive, huh? Funny how you say we work for massa. Hold on to that thought, got some questions wanna ask you. Who's in videos with the chains around the neck? Posing next to Trump, the very man you disrespect. Who's buddy with all the Democrats? The very same party owned slaves in the past. Who's the one seen treating women like the objects? Pushing drugs, alcohol seems pretty obvious. Who became a slave to the game? Traded all your moors for the fame. No more calling names. A real man step up to the base. Better ask a Breakfast Club how these facts really taste.
That was good, man. Man, I ain't gonna lie, that's why I like watching it, man, cause you be hitting with the spit in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Nigga like me, I don't even do stats. I got common sense. I just be like, listen, that just don't make no sense, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even, but if I had stats, my God.
Oh, man. Yeah. Ryan's in here, too. He's silent, though.
Yeah. This one for my aces, came from different bases.